AMD or Intel? That is the question. And while we recently covered everything there is to know, at least right now, about next-gen Intel, now it's AMD's turn, seeing how these CPUs are coming in rather hot at the end of July/early August. So should you upgrade to Ryzen 9000? I mean, what can you expect from these chips? Well, performance-wise, it's difficult to gauge right now, at least from the numbers that AMD have been feeding us ever since Computex. And I mean, yeah, it performs better than its predecessors, however the performance range right now is pretty wide, plus they're comparing to current gen Intel offerings and not even the 4900KS, just a standard K, all while they're releasing a brand new Intel Core 200 CPUs later this year. No, you haven't traveled back in time. Yes, Intel are resetting the numbering, it's a long story. I have a video on it up in iCards. Now, the Zen 5 architecture as a whole is looking pretty promising, with some pretty major architectural changes resulting in great IPC improvements, and thus we also see higher core clocks across these brand new CPUs, all while the TDP actually remains the same, 409950X, and actually sees significant decreases for the other main CPUs coming in this initial launch. So no, it's not some revolutionary new architecture, and you're still getting the same amount of cores and threads in each CPU tier, but hey, at least now they run faster at a lower TDP, so I guess everyone's happy. Then there's also the pricing, which, while AMD hasn't revealed too much yet, leaks are already starting to appear about what the pricing can be like. Finally, we need to talk about what new motherboards you actually need to run these chips. Now, as this is the same AM5 socket, well, congrats! If you're using Ryzen 7000, you can upgrade to the Ryzen 9000. Though I don't know how many people would want to upgrade for those kind of performance gains, but you do you. Though if you're upgrading from an older AM4 platform motherboard, then you are gonna need a brand new board, and given how long AMD is set to support AM5, it's definitely not the dumbest investment. And seeing how this is consumer Ryzen and not Threadrip, we can actually kind of take the word for it. So you can either buy existing X670 or B650 motherboards, which will definitely go down in price now, or you can get the brand new and shiny X870 boards instead. Yes, they are skipping X770, just they can compete with Intel. It's once again a very dumb and long story. We've already seen quite a bit about these new motherboards at Computex, however they aren't gonna once again offer anything too revolutionary. This platform is still going to support the basic DDR5 and PC Gen 5 tech we've seen up to this point. Naturally, the biggest advantages of these brand new motherboards will be stuff like better VRM configurations, better rear I/O, etc., and of course more revised aesthetics to better match current PC building sensibilities, including of course a focus on the brand new BTF standard for hiding cables behind the motherboard. And who knows, well, we only really talk about Cam 2 in the context of Intel and their current and next-gen boards, maybe we'll see it come to AMD eventually as well. That all leads to the main question: should you even buy these CPUs right now? And it's a very difficult question to answer, especially seeing what else is coming this year. Firstly, while we aren't getting X3D CPUs at launch of Ryzen 9000, they are coming later, and we've already seen in previous generations how much they disrupt the entire product stack for AMD. Not to mention that when they drop, AMD will also most likely reduce the pricing for the existing Ryzen 9000 chips. Plus, we also have Intel coming in hot with Arrow Lake CPUs later this year as well. So you can imagine that Team Red is going to try and counter that with their own price reductions on top of the price reductions from the 3D V-Cache variants as well. That's a lot of discounts coming later this year if you're just patient. So again, it's really up to you. That's why I want to hear your plans for all of this. Are you going to be upgrading? If so, to what and when? Are you going AMD? Are you going Intel? And what exact models you're interested in? Let me know all of that down in the comments below. And whilst you're here, make sure to check out our Patreon, because unlike some CPUs from AMD and Intel, it is always an objectively fantastic deal. Plus huge thanks to Gavin Burns, Jason Rage, Ella Vroniak, Dev Panda, Balish Velka, Patrick Harrison, another pseudonym, Meg Sumner, Shane Allcraft, Lansby, Level Up, and Robert Sanders. But anyway, that's about it, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then remember to subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you all in whatever I make next. Goodbye everyone. Goodbye.